Stardust, Chapter 26, Gate of Babylon. Riot erupts at funeral service of National Guard members slain in May 2nd. Battle in North Dakota when uninvited man interrupts eulogy to advocate surrender to aliens. Man quoted as saying, "This is the fate of those who resist ascendance. The ethereal ones only accept the willing." Bridge collapses in Iowa and Missouri now positively confirmed as foul play, engineers report. Chief investigator dismisses assertion that aliens were involved. On-site investigation showed signs of C4 and remote detonators. If the aliens wanted those bridges, they would have just blasted them. Foundry report. Project ID Gate of Babylon. Type: various. Role: various. Description: analysis and practical application of theoretical designs provided by Stardust. Related projects: Fragarak, Kaleidoscope, EA, Gab Blog, Excalibur, Roice, Medusa, Enkidu, Zabania, Mjolnir. Attached files: personal notes by Chief Engineer Charles Shen, image of research material provided by Stardust. Personal notes follow. New record: 9:12 p.m., May 7, 2015. After the recent series of breakthroughs sent to the Foundry from Stardust, I made the decision to create a parent project to ensure the easy access and review of all ongoing projects that have thus far been inspired by those breakthroughs. The roles of these child projects are manifold, but all involve the precise application of Elerium circuits, or EC, that was first discovered by the previously mentioned research team. The materials we gathered were for dozens of EC patterns that create very specific elements when combined with the end result of an EA project. Patterns thus far identified have been included as telekinesis, teleportation, X-ray, animation, and near invisibility. The author of the research material also included several ways to modify the EC patterns to allow signal input or feedback to ensure adequate control, or, in the worst case, a safety cutoff. The child projects under Gate of Babylon are the following, and may be updated as further developments present themselves. 1. Fragarak, prototype interceptor weapon system using EC teleportation. 2. Kaleidoscope, mass teleporter using EC teleportation. 3. EA, Elerium-based power generation and storage system using EC energy generation. 4. Gab Blog, prototype infantry weapon system using EC telekinesis. 5. Excalibur, prototype infantry ordnance delivery system using EC telekinesis. 6. Roice, prototype infantry personnel defense system using EC shield. 7. Medusa, scope enhancement using EC X-ray. 8. Enkidu, prototype non-lethal anti-personnel device using EC animation. 9. Zabania, prototype infantry armor system using EC wallflower. And 10. Mjolnir, prototype remote control interface using implants based on those recovered from Project Redacted and EC animation. The engineering team has quite high hopes, especially since the ideas previously listed were theorized with just an hour to look at the research material. We suspect further developments will become apparent as we continue to categorize all that was sent to us. On a more personal note, I should also explain that naming conventions going forward are going to be a bit more deliberate. When the scope of the discoveries became apparent, one of the younger engineers started making suggestions. Gate of Babylon was in reference to an ancient Sumerian king who hoarded great riches and legendary weapons in a massive vault, and it seemed appropriate. The automated name generator in our computers came up with Exploding Face, so I chose to go with the former over the latter. I also hope the scientist responsible for the breakthroughs in the Stardust Labs knows what she's doing. A note was enclosed with the research material that has me a little worried, so I'll have to remember to bring it up with her when we go about activating the EA project for the first time. I just hope that she doesn't come to regret this in the long term. It would be a terrible shame if she got into trouble for arming third world nations with her knowledge after all. End log. Project ID, Kaleidoscope. Type, base structure. Role, rapid transportation. Description, mass teleportation chamber using EC teleport. New record, 10 p.m., May 7, 2015. A logical extension of the Fragarak project is the use of teleportation to transport equipment and troops to distant locations quickly and without the risks associated with their transit through conventional means. Aliencraft has demonstrated the capacity for teleporting living beings safely, and the nature of the expert in the Stardust Lab seems to indicate that such methods of travel are viable over extreme distances as well. Kaleidoscope is purely the theoretical stage at this point, as significant amounts of Elerium will be needed to construct this chamber. While we are likely to have enough on hand to begin construction and likely finish it as well, it would leave our stores of the precious element depleted to a dangerous degree. Another complication is that Kaleidoscope would require the EA project to be completed and running successfully due to the unique mechanics of EC technology. Due to these two concerns, Kaleidoscope is still being assessed as low priority until more Elerium can be secured and EA is up and running. End log. Project ID, EA. Type, base structure. Role, power production. Description, Elerium-based power generator and battery systems. New record, 8 AM, May 3rd, 2015. Interestingly enough, this development was born from the basic design of an implant found in some of the most diminutive of the invaders. Apparently, when Elerium is crafted into a very specific pattern, it is able to generate energy that can be converted into mechanical or electrical power, or even more exotic forms if the rumors are to be believed. The only weakness we were able to find in that theory is that the circuits will overheat if they are used to channel this power for too long, and if they overheat, they burn and are rendered useless. And as such, we've devised a method to create several smaller circuits that rotate in and out of use to allow proper cooling and recovery while the other circuits are engaged. Another hurdle that we'll need to overcome is that we will likely need the specialist from the Stardust lab to present during activation due to the unique nature of this technology. As there are some security systems with this particular specialist, arrangements will have to be made so the specialist can assist without interference from personnel that aren't aware of the details of the Stardust project. Estimated building time for the structure is approximately 9 days. Updated, 11:02 PM, May 7, 2015. Due to the new breakthroughs of the Stardust labs, this project has been attached to the Gates of Babylon parent project, and the scope of the project has been expanded. Recent breakthroughs have revealed a way to store the unique energy generated by EA in its raw form without converting it into more conventional electrical energy. This unique energy can be used to power some of the more exotic developments that are now in development, including the end result of the Fragarak weapon system already in testing. The batteries as designed should be reusable, but they do use Elerium in their construction, so if they are to be made for infantry scale devices, we will have to be clear that any spent batteries should be kept for recharging. Prototypes will be fabricated for the first versions of batteries as soon as EA is operational. Estimates on completion are approximately a week from now, and we foresee no problems other than any that might come from the initial startup of the generator. As the EA project is required for almost all projects in Gate of Babylon, a smooth startup is becoming an increasingly high priority. End log. Project ID, Gab Blog. Type, Infantry Weapon System, Interceptor Weapon System. Role, Assault Rifle, Sniper Rifle, Pistol, Air-to-Air Anti-Ship. Description, Projectile Weapon System using EC Telekinesis. Updated 12:10 PM, May 8, 2015. EC Telekinetic Weapon System. New record, 6:30 AM, May 8, 2015. Gab Blog was described as a spear that, once thrown, would never fail to pierce the heart of its target, a rather apt description for the weapon system we're hoping to create. As some of the engineering staff are aware, the damage to the base originating from the Stardust labs could be considered the original proof of concept for this weapon. It is believed that a projectile thrown with a telekinetic effect created by specific EC circuitry can attain a level of armor penetration that is unheard of in infantry-scale weapons. As the projectile in the proof of concept test penetrated several levels of steel and concrete without spalling despite being a very brittle material, it is believed that so long as the telekinetic effect is maintained, the projectile itself will not deform in any way despite what it hits. We will also not be using Elerium projectiles, as we suspect that they may be too effective. For this test, a significantly less rare copper slug will be used for the initial test. The theories behind the EC telekinetics are rather simple, to the point where they might be described as programming with cause and effect. For this particular test, the EC will be the following when it is activated. Move the copper slug, A, from the firing chamber, B, at a velocity of 900 meters per second, C, for 1,000 meters, D, passing the starting point. The variables in the EC programming are A, the projectile, B, the starting point, C, the velocity, and D, the destination or distance. As the EA generator or batteries aren't available yet, we will be using the salvage Elerium generator from the Fragarak test to power the prototype. Initial testing will take place inside one of the surface warehouses rather than the base's subterranean sections, and if the weapon critically fails or critically succeeds, I'd rather not have to patch several walls that are perforated as a result.